I hate to tell you, but I told you so. I seen this Liverpool downfall coming through way before the season started, way before the last minute winners, and now it's here. Crystal Palace won in the last minute, giving Liverpool a taste of their own medicine, and then Galatasaray received Liverpool and won 1-0 because of a penalty, giving Liverpool yet again a taste of their own medicine, and now Liverpool have to face Chelsea. A difficult fixture where they could drop points and potentially lose the lead in the Premier League because at the moment they are first place. But Arsenal are now 2 points away after their miraculous win against Newcastle in Newcastle, which they haven't done in 3 years. But Gabriel's last minute header led to that, which now puts them right behind Liverpool after they lost to Crystal Palace. Now, this downfall is going to be monumental because I've been saying sometimes less is more and more is less. Alexander Isak and Hugo Ekitike being signed to Liverpool was a bit much in my opinion. You're spending over 200 million on two strikers and only one of them can start. That right there looks like a recipe for disaster. And you know what else does not help? Florian Wirtz having not only a 007 season, 008. He has yet to been able to find his feet with Liverpool and yet to be able to add a goal contribution. And he was a whopping 150 million for Liverpool. The 21-year-old was a record-breaking fee at the time before the Alexander Isak transfer. And he has been nothing more than a flop so far. It is yet early days, but still, Liverpool are going to start dropping points if they don't figure out a way to integrate him into the system where he's going to be able to add goals and assists instead of sacrificing Dominic Szoboszlai, where he is playing out of position for this lad right here. Now, before I get into that, Liverpool are going to have some complicated matches. They dropped points back-to-back in the Champions League and the Premier League with Crystal Palace and Galatasaray. Now they're going to place Chelsea. They're lucky Man United's trash. That's a solid 3 points right there. Frankfurt, that could be difficult. Brentford, they cause trouble. Crystal Palace again in the cup. Obviously the past two matches, Crystal Palace have gotten the best out of Liverpool. Villa's a difficult team. Real Madrid, and then Man City. So October can get complicated depending how they can bounce back against Chelsea. And then early November is looking very difficult with Liverpool facing Real Madrid and then Manchester City. So this downfall could potentially happen because if you really take a look at Liverpool's games here, you lose in penalties against Crystal Palace in the Community Shield. You win in the last-minute Chiesa moment against Bournemouth. You win in a last-minute goal against Newcastle with the red card from Newcastle. You were up 2-0 against 10-man Newcastle. They ended up making it 2-2, and then it took a teenager to score a last-minute goal. Then you score a worldy free kick against Arsenal, win 1-0 in Anfield. It takes Burnley to have a former United player in Hannibal hit the ball with his hand dysfunctionally, get a red card, give him a pen, last-minute pen, boom, 1-0. Then against Atletico Madrid, you were up 2-0, you choked 2-2, and then Van Dijk has a last-minute header. You barely beat Everton 2-1. And then Everton could have easily gotten a draw in there, and then you barely beat Southampton 2-1. And then you start dropping points. So it seems like that last-minute gimmick is kind of falling off from Liverpool. And this all comes from Liverpool trying to integrate Florian Wirtz and then having their striker problem, which was something I called out before the season started and when Isak was transferred, that Liverpool have too much on their plate because they're leading away from what they really were using last season to win, which was Dominic Szoboszlai being absolutely key for them last season, filling in as striker, filling in as cam, filling in as CM, and he made a shift of it every single time. This guy is a cracking player, and I have nothing but great things to say, but now they're overworking him, in my opinion, because now him playing right back here is so unnecessary because they want him in the midfield, and it's kind of like that inverted style where he's coming in, but it's so unnecessary. Apologies, because Frimpong is on the pitch. Why is Frimpong not playing right back when he's on the pitch and there's no Salah? Like, it makes no sense. If anything, Dominic here can just play right wing and Frimpong right back and just free him in to get inside the midfield. But instead, you're kind of just betting all your eggs in the basket on, yeah, I think Kirkes, Van Dijk, and Konate can, hold it down, which puts Konate in a basically a tough position because he doesn't have a right back right now, and then Kirkes isn't doing all too great, so Van Dijk's not in a position to succeed. So to me, it makes no sense to make these sacrifices. If anything, play Connor Bradley or put Frimpong in a natural position. Now, Wirtz is playing awful, in my opinion. He was a record-breaking fee at one point. To me, if you really want to integrate him, it's going to be a free roam kind of position and put him here on the left. And then Dominic here, he's going to have to be center attacking mid every single time. Gravenberg and then obviously McAllister. Go back to the midfield that won you the league because you're going to stop dropping points. And the second you lose that lead in the Premier League, you might start to fall off because you already have a new striker. Why are you going to put a new center attacking mid? There's no chemistry there. Hugo Ekitike, he started off great, scoring a goal almost every single game aside from the Arsenal game at one point. Alexander Isak comes in, benches him the first game he's available. And then guess what? Now both of the lads aren't performing because you have two top strikers. Imagine if Arsenal went out and got Sesko and Gyökeres. It would have been an absolute disaster because you're spending big time money on two starters, but you can only start one. And I've said, that's going to cause problems because you can't play both of them. If anything, Liverpool should have gone out and got a world-class left mid, if anything, to replace Gakpo. But you went out and got a striker for 90 million, and then you went out and broke the English transfer record with Isak. So it makes no sense. And this is what I'm saying. Arne Slot and Liverpool have overspent because there's nothing wrong with spending. But when you're spending twice, almost 100 million on the same position, it causes problem. And then when Wirtz comes in for a record-breaking fee at the time, replacing Dominic Szoboszlai because Szoboszlai, that's his natural position, and then he's not performing, but Szoboszlai, wherever you put him, he performs. So you're kind of, it's honestly relying on last-minute winners when you're just going all-out attack, and now it's not working, and now you've lost back-to-back games, unable to get that individualism from the squad, subbing in Salah, being desperate. Isak subbed in, McAllister, all that because you tried to rotate a little bit. But guess what? It wasn't enough, lads, and you ended up dropping points in the Champions League and the Premier League. So for them to come back, they're going to be playing Chelsea. You have to go back to your original, formation. In my opinion, you're going to have to see the back line being Kirkes, Van Dijk, Konate, Connor Bradley, Dominic Szoboszlai goes back to Cam, McAllister, Gravenberg, Salah, Gakpo, and then you choose between Ekitike and Isak, whichever you want at the striker position. That's going to be your best way of winning against Chelsea. But if you try this Szoboszlai at right back, Wirtz center attacking mid, you're going to put Frimpong on the wing, all this kind of nonsense, it's not going to work out. I'll tell you that. If anything, you try to put Robertson back at left back, if anything, But yeah, Liverpool has a little bit too much on their hands and it's causing them to drop points. But anyways, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, leave a comment down below. What do you think is causing Liverpool to drop points? Because they've yet to really dominate a team. They're really having this last minute gimmick, have them first place in the league because almost all those games I've listed, they could have dropped points easily.